So if there's burnout, they would be feeling it. The Vice President. Anderson, you were mentioning the First Lady, and we've talked a lot about what she's wearing. One thing I would add is that we're reporting that she will take on some new role in the next term, and that is a little bit more of a political role, that she will be promoting some of the president's political agenda a bit more than we saw in the first term.
That's interesting.
That I would be interested to see how she'll do it, I imagine it will be very delicate, just a bit of a nod in that direction. But through this political arm, the OFA organization, she will be promoting some of his initiatives in the grassroots movement.
And let me tell you,
Senator Tom Daschle there coming in.
She's a lot more popular in certain parts of the country than he is. I mean, and in polling, I was always amazed at how she would run 8 or 9 points more popular than the president in places where he wasn't necessarily so popular. She was a force.
And what a critical role she played during the convention, really giving a speech that really roused the entire audience. Here's the president, of course, Senator Charles Schumer.
And I can tell you, this is no surprise, but the speech is done, locked and loaded. No more changes.
Unlike Bill Clinton.
Until it's not.
Right?
The thing about the First Lady is that once she gets more involved in the political agenda, she will probably have to sacrifice a little bit of her popularity.
That's true.
And I think that's one reason she didn't do that this time around. She was so important to him in this re-election.
And from an image standpoint, also, one of the things that we pick up on in focus groups is that image of them two together, that loving family. Women voters ate that up. I mean, it was that was part of their brand, and they really appreciated it. And this was a guy who was truly in love with his wife, and his wife was a partner, and women voters really appreciated it.
Men didn't like that?
we didn't hear them talk about it as
Is
much.
that why he kissed her at that basketball game? I'm sure that was designed. That was poll tested and focus group approved. I'm sure of it.
Remember in 2008, she was a little bit controversial during that campaign, and that's why she receded a little bit.
And the second term is where it's safe for her to step up. Remember, Laura Bush also stepped up in the second term for the women of Afghanistan, in Burma, taking a stand about democracy in Burma.
As we watched the vice president come out, we didn't mention who was with him. I wonder if we'll get to mention him more. Senator Lamar Alexander of Tennessee, a former governor, a Republican, ran for president himself once. One of the members of the Senate who was incredibly frustrated by the inaction, the inability to get things done. Mark Warner is a Democrat, a former governor. There are a number of senators in both parties, especially the former governors who were chief executives who like to get things done, who have been talking privately among themselves about how can we get more things done? How can we find consensus? How can we drop the word comprehensive maybe and make some incremental progress on things? That to me is a fascinating, and Joe Biden's a big part of those conversations to see if they can find, I don't know whether you can call it the middle or the center anymore, but just some functional group that trusts each other and that can find ways to get things done.
Notice the taxation without representation, license plate.
Yes. We Washingtonians, that's a big deal because we have no representation.
There is nothing quite like watching this motorcade, though, as it passes you by. As for all those on the stand, it is an awesome sight. Just the number of vehicles, the size of the vehicle they call the Beast there, carrying both the vice president and another one carrying the president.
And those are heavy machines, heavily fortified, but make no mistake, they're going to go very slowly today when we see them, if necessary. I've been out to the Secret Service training headquarters and watched them do the emergency drills with these things. That's a treat.
I can't go down to the Cadillac dealership and pick one of those up?
No.
There are already people lining, of course, the parade route, trying to get a good spot, as they have been all morning long. And here on the National Mall, it is getting very, very crowded indeed as more and more people arriving. People realizing the president, the vice president are on their way here. And certainly the excitement is building as we approach the hour